All right, so just gonna record the call. All right, guys, so welcome back to this week's Bounceback session. So just a kind reminder, because I know that last week Thursday I didn't do it, so a gentle reminder. I'll be doing the calls on Tuesday and Thursday, so you guys can actually make note of that in your calendar. Especially now that Carnival is over for Barbados, we could kind of get back stable again, because I did participate a bit in it, you know. So what I want to cover tonight, I wanted to go over divergence, because we did an introduction of that last week when we were looking at the bounce back calls, when we were looking at the bounce back trades. So what I'm going to do is that we're going to look at a mixture of the bounce back trades themselves and buy pips. We're going to look and see what went well, what didn't, and what is still pending. And then we're also going to look at how we could get better entries based on market structure, as well as divergence, right? Good. So I'm just going to go ahead now and share my screen. Perfect. So bounce back. So as I said, I was going to start here with the bounce back trade. So let's start with the most recent one. We have sell on Euro CHF around 1.09374. So let's look for Euro CHF 1.09. So we got 1.09374. So as you know, we look for that entry first. $1.09374 is the entry that they wanted us to sell, right? Let me just get rid of that. Good. No. So as you can see, we already started to get some movement here. So let's see if you guys would have gotten the confirmation to get into this trade. So the first thing we want to do is that we want to identify the trend, right? Now you can start from here or you can start from here, right? Now we can clearly see it's in an uptrend, and we're looking to sell it. Got called on the 1 hour time frame, so we're going to draw the trend line on the 15-minute. Now if I had to draw it here, right, you guys should have already been in, because we would have identified that uptrend, right? I could even bring it from here. We would have identified that uptrend, so you can see it there, right? And then the trend line was broken, right? So this is where bounce back would have called the entry. Now remember that we also added 50 moving average line, right, for the confirmation of us getting into the trade, right? And then the crossing of the MACD is actually now starting to cross, but on the 1 hour time frames. I know some of you actually enter the trade on the 5-minute, right? So for those of you that actually enter the trade on the 5-minute, as you can see, the trade was already under the histogram here. So what we had this pullback happening, right? We had a pullback on the MACD. So you can see how it came back here, pulled back, and then continued. Now, like I say, I prefer to enter on the 15-minute time frame, right? Now, if I was entering this trade, what would I be looking for, right? What would I be looking for? So the first thing I want to identify is structure, right? Structure. So in this case, I'm going to take out this block. Let me just like that. Right? So what I'm looking for is two things, right? I want a break. What I want is a break of structure as well as the trend line. Reason why? I've had persons entering into the bounce back trades. As soon as they break the trend line, but they don't identify structure, and I think it's key that you understand that. Because if, for example, the trade had to be ranging, so going sideways and breaking the trend line with very small candles, right, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue in the sell. So we know that this area here is support, which means that if the trade had to come down here with small candles, it could still continue to push up. And what we need to see is not only a solid body candle breaking the trend line, but also a solid body candle breaking structure, right? Now, what do I look to identify as my true structure? I just look, honestly, in the area of support. I look for the longest wick, right? So I go body to wick. So I took this body, because this, for me, between these two are the longest. So I went from body to wick to identify my area of structure, right? That's my area of structure there. So that's my support. So this candle here would have been my confirmation that the trade not only broke my trend line, not only broke my 50 moving average, but also broke my structure. Right? So you have that. You definitely have that. Right? So you guys should be, these are things that you guys should be looking for when you're looking to enter the trade. We're not lazy trading. We need to analyze it. We're trying to be professional traders here. A lot of you guys should know, be starting to be professional traders because you've been in this game, you know, just as long as me, or even longer, and you guys should know, be learning, or actually know already how to apply your analysis when wanting to enter a trade like this, right? So this is a good trade. This is a good trade. What time is it? It's 7:30. It's 7:10. So we can see how, we will see how, you know, the momentum progresses here. Now, with regards to take profit zones, still good to understand structure, not only for entry, but also for take profit zones. So what am I looking at? All right, what am I looking at? So I have this area here as my take profit. So this is TP1, right? That's TP1 there. And then TP2 for me would be around here. Right? Those are my take profit zones. Stop loss. Stop loss. Just above there. Right? Just above there. So I hope everybody's following. I hope everybody's following. Right? No. Now we were talking about divergence last week, right? We want to identify divergence as our way of entering trades, or as our way of understanding if the trade is about to turn around, because that's really what we aim for where divergence is concerned. We want to know that the trade has basically exhausted in its current trend, right, and is about to change direction. And we would have identified that when we're looking for a sell with divergence, right, we're going to use the mountain tops to measure, right, to measure this, to measure the divergence. We're using the mountain tops and the mountain tops as well in the MACD histogram, right? And if we're looking for a buy around support, if we're looking for a buy, then we're gonna measure the valleys. Like for example, this here, right? We'll measure the valleys because you can see that this is straight. However, between here, so you can see here, let me just measure it. We have straight here, right? It's flat. But here you can see how the histogram is actually going in the opposite direction, or basically going up, right? So that would have been divergence there as well, right? That would have indicated this, the move up, right, guys? So if you don't understand divergence, I have done an introduction last week, Tuesday. So just go over that video, but this week we're just continuing. Now, so let's say bounce back call this trade, and we want to identify divergence in this trade, right? We want to identify divergence. So a couple of things. We have some bigger divergence we could see. Major one where you could see this here is going up, two mountain tops going up, and mountain top coming down, right? First indication of myself, change of direction, right? Then we have some miniature ones, because we got this one here where this is showing the two mountain tops going up, but then you could kind of see how things are still coming down, right? So the reason why I love divergence is because it helps with your analysis. It helps with understanding the change of the trend, right? It really, really does. So divergence works well at support and resistance. That's where you want to look for divergence, right? Support, resistance, and trend lines, right? So I hope you guys have your notepads and you're making those notes. Divergence works well around support, resistance, and trend lines, right? That's where you want to look for divergence, and then use your other confirmations to enter the trade, right? So if you understand what I have went through so far, just type I in the chat box. Just type I. Okay, Paula understands. Who else understands? If you don't, type no. Perfect, 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 perfect. Ah, got some familiar faces. Perfect, good. So I drew up this chart about 20 minutes ago. I realized it was pulling back, so I didn't enter. Okay, yeah. Agreed. Agreed. But that's what you want to look for. I say a true trade is when you have, that's fine, Shadi. We're going to go through some more examples. A breakout and a retest. So I would say monitor it, because as you know, I would have identified the zone for you. So you already know that this is the zone, support equals resistance. So just look and see what happens from here. But even so, Paula, you can monitor it on the 5-minute time frame now, because what you'll be looking for now is for the trade to actually pull back. You want to see the MACD given the same type of pullback here that I would have identified with this circle. So same thing that we have here where it pulled back, and then you had the lines cross again, the blue cross under the orange. You could kind of look for that when it gets back up into that resistance zone. Good. So now that we understand, so everybody understand divergence, let's go through another one. Let's look at another trade. I don't want to do crypto. Let's look at Euro USD sell on the H4 time frame. Right? Euro USD sell on the H4 time frame. And it says to sell Euro USD around 111.856, right? 111.856. Right, this one is not quite ready. Is a sell, right? Right, good. So this is a good one. No, called on the 4-hour time frame, so we're gonna do our analysis on the 30-minute, right? Well, this is not ready, just in case some of you guys were wondering. It's not ready. So I hope none of you have taken this trade already. So first thing we're gonna do is identify the trend. So you already know we need to do that. We need to identify the trend, right? Good. So we have here, we identify the uptrend, right? So we have the uptrend. Now, we need to identify the zone, right? Structure. So for structure, I am going to utilize this area here. Let me just make it gray. Cool. So this is what I want. This is what I would love to happen, right? This is what I would love to happen. So if I enter in this trade, right, I want it to break my structure. No, I included this as part of my structure because you can see that this is still the area where the trade would have reversed, right? So you got the trend line, so you know where you want it to break. But I would also love to see a strong body candle break here, right? I would love to see a strong body candle break here as well. No. Areas of take profit. So if we look left, what are we looking for? We're looking for support, right? So TP1 is here for me. That's TP1, right? And TP2 is around here. This is TP2. Right? That's take profit 1 and 2 there for me. And then so long as the trade breaks, my stop loss would be above here. Give it a little room right there. Right? No. Divergence. So let's start to look at divergence. So mountain tops, because we're dealing with the sell, so you start to see this, right? And you see this. So you get a difference there already, right? Now, please, when you're drawing divergence, you need to have a positive, negative, positive, or if it's the, so what you really mean is this is positive, this is above, negative, below, positive. Don't try to draw divergence just using this particular histogram, because I know a lot of you would. So I could see that I already addressed something that some of you would have done already, right? So you're looking for a positive. So it must have a mountain top, valley, and mountain top, right? Basically, positive, negative, positive, right? So when you identify divergence, you're looking for positive, negative, positive, right? Good. So I hope that cleared that. So we have that as part of our confirmation. Welcome. We have that. No, this trade is not ready. So what I would love to see, what I would really, really love to see is some more divergence happening around this area, right? So you can see how the momentum and everything is flat. So this is not a trade that you'd be looking for. I'd say probably around London session. So anytime between 2 and 6 o'clock in the morning. You could check when you wake up tomorrow for work, around 5, 6 o'clock. You could check and see. By then you should start getting some momentum, right? But I want this kind of scenario here that you see here. I want this kind of scenario over here around this area, right? Around this area. Shani asks, why not put a sell start or a sell limit? Okay, so I don't like sell limits unless you know what is it doing, basically, right? Because let's say, for example, you have to set a sell limit. Let's say that you have to set a sell limit here, above here, right? And you projected that it was going to come up one more time before it sells. The disadvantage to you is that if the trade had to come up, come back down, and then continue up, your trade will hit stop loss. I don't like sell limits because right now we don't know the market conditions. We don't know what the market conditions are going to be in the next few hours or by the time the market is ready to set up in London session, right? So I don't avoid sell limits. Sell stops, yes, if you want to set a sell stop, please to place it under structure. So you will have to give yourself space because again, you don't know how the market is going to set up by time is London session. So you can put a sell stop if you wanted to. Please to put it a good ways below structure, so anywhere around here, right? So you know that it's below structure and it will catch you on the way down, and this will be your take profit zone. So you could set a sell stop, right? But I like to analyze my market before going, so that's why I called it that. But yes, you can set a sell stop, but sell limits, no, unless you are a professional trader, then I don't advise it, right? Because limit orders could mess you up. So everybody understand that so far? Everybody understand what it is we're looking for? So this trade is not ready, momentum is slow, everything is going flat, right? So as I say, if you want to set a sell stop on this, make sure that it's well below structure, right? So under the trend line, below structure, and you could catch it for to take profit one. That should still give you around 40 pips. So we still got a good set of pips that we could catch in this trade. So make sure you guys put this on your watch list. Right? Now the last one I want to go through before we close off tonight, perfect, is buy pips. All right, so I'm thinking about a buy on AUDCAD around 89,354 on H4 time frame. Right, so AUDCAD, he's thinking about a buy around 89,354. So let's identify where 89,354 is. Then we're going to look at his notes. Right, so that one would have taken off because he called that a little while ago. Anyway, his notes were CAD currency is showing weakness against the majors, right? Speculating a daily retracement from key bullish levels. So let's identify. Right? Let me take out some of this. Good. So this is the lowest that AUDCAD has been for a while. All right, so I'm trying to identify key levels in here. Because as you can see, This is the lowest that this trade, and this is our analysis you guys need to be doing. Just don't enter trade, right? This is the lowest this trade has been since June 2010 is when this was last down here. All right. So what we're looking at, let's come over here. Let's draw, let's identify a zone. All right, let's identify a zone. So this is a zone here. This is weekly support, right? This is weekly support here. He called this trade on the forward time frame, right? So he's looking for a buy. So let's come down to 30-minute now that we know that that's support. And we would have drawn a trend line. Right? So guys, please remember, I think he called it around here. Right here. This is where he called it. This is where he called it. Yeah, good. So guys, first of all, remember, you need to identify structure, right? So we see that we're in a support zone. So when you're actually taking buy pips trade, look at the notes that he's sending. And if he's saying that he's seeing a reversal on daily support or whatever, you need to be going to the daily time frame or even a time frame above that, the weekly time frame, and seeing what you need to see what he's seeing, right? You need to try to understand what he's seeing, right? So what do we have? What do we have? Any divergence? Because we know that this is weekly support. So we do have divergence. Look at this. Valley to valley. Valley to valley. Right? So we can see opposite. Hence why this came into play. So you guys can see that divergence. Right? You can see that divergence. Remember, if we're looking for a buy, negative, positive, negative. Right? Remember, you're looking for that negative, positive, negative. Right? Negative, positive, negative. Right? Works the same way. So remember, you guys are looking for that. Right? No. So he would have called this buy. And for me, at weekly support, I could see clear divergence. I could see the buy happening as well. Right? Take profit zones. Really and truly, my take profit zone and only zone would be around this level. I'm going to put it here. I'm actually going to put it here. All right. This is my first take profit zone. And then above that as well. Right? So we could be looking for a buy, take profit 1, take profit 2. You got the divergence there, right? You got the rejection around support that he's talking about. There's some other patterns that I can see, but you know, for those who can see it, you got head and shoulders pattern. You got shoulder here, head, and then another shoulder here as well. Trade broke above, retest neckline. For those who knows about head and shoulders, this would have been a neckline here. All right? So you got shoulder, head, shoulder, break above, retest neckline, and then start to move up. Right? That's for those who know about patterns. right? So now if you're looking to enter this trade, you have not entered it already, please to wait until it breaks here. Needs to break this zone. You want a solid body candle breaking this resistance zone, right? You want a solid body candle now breaking this resistance zone. So anything above here, you could enter in for the buy, right? All right, I will post it, right? Anything above here, we're looking for the buy, and then you guys can take that trade all the way up. First take profit is about 33 pips. Second take profit is 73 pips, right? So this is a good trade. So like I say, if you haven't entered it as yet, wait for the trade to break above this zone. All right. So everybody understand what I taught today? Everybody understand loud and clear? Say aye. Useful, value. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, guys, so you know that this class was recorded, so I will post it on YouTube. Share with your teams, share with your prospects. It's open to everybody. So again, thank you for joining me today. I will see you guys on Thursday. I think the class on Thursday is at 9 p.m., right? But I'll keep you posted. All right, guys, so take care and have a beautiful night.